Very fortunate to be visited by my good friend Colin Amos from the law offices of Goldberg and Jones, Divorce for Men. If you want to talk to Colin, you just simply call 1-800-DIVORCE, and he gives you a consultation at no charge to answer your questions and point you in the right direction to make sure that you get the help that you need with a potential custody battle or a divorce. Colin, what's up?
I'm good.
Do you specialize in any type of law that might, to where you could protect me from a store that doesn't want me to come in ever again?
You might have to get a divorce from Fred Meyer for the moment. Maybe a separation, legal separation.
You ever had a day where all of a sudden you're like, wow, I am really screwing this day up and I'm a jerk?
I have, especially when I drink a little too much of the coffee, it can put me into moods that I later look back. And, you have kids, you kind of go ballistic on that one, too. So kind of look back and say, I needed to just relax a little bit more on that one.
It's a painful lesson in life. All right, Colin Amos, law offices of Goldberg and Jones. You can always go to their website and check it out, goldbergjones.com. And, of course, Colin each week comes in with a list of questions that he gets from his people, and we talk about some of these different issues on air. The first one, Colin, comes from Beaverton. It says, I was told I can pick up documents at the courthouse for divorce. Do I really need an attorney in a divorce? How much does a divorce cost if I hire an attorney?
I like this question because everybody asks this question.
That's the first question that guys will ask. Do I need an attorney?
Yeah, do I really need an attorney? And my answer is, if you don't have kids, you don't have property, you don't have debt, you don't have anything, probably not, because if you make mistakes, no problem.
Nothing to worry about.
And then the attorney is simply there, a guidepost to give you some input into a complicated process. So if you do have kids, you should at least educate yourself. And if you have property or debt that you care about, you might want to make sure that you don't make any drastic mistakes. Whether you actually need, after a consultation or meeting with an attorney, hire them. It's a different question, but at least educate yourself. And the other one I love is, how much does a divorce cost, which is kind of like calling a car dealer and said, how much does a car cost? And it really makes a big difference.
Which model are we discussing?
That's right. We got all sorts of brands and models and problems and dysfunctions and lemons and all sorts. So that really is going to depend. If you hire an attorney, many times, most people, 98% of cases settle. So it's more agreeable than most people think. And attorneys, if you have a good attorney, we're not trying to create conflict. We're trying to resolve it. So we're trying to get people to the other side without actually arguing. So it shouldn't cost too much. It just depends on what the conflict is.
And one other thing that I've learned from, spending time around you is that, if you don't hire an attorney and you go through with the divorce on your own, once that's a done deal, it's hard to make changes.
Yeah, that's bread and butter for a divorce attorney, doing modifications and trying to fix people's problems after a court has signed it. It's very expensive, and it's so much more difficult to go back and correct those problems.
All right, we're talking with Colin Amos from the law offices of Goldberg and Jones. Next question, Colin, is from Hillsborough. It says, I'm divorced, and my kids are 16 and 13 and really want to live with me. They are with me much more than the parenting plan states. From our divorce, I was told I should wait until my kids finish the school year before I try to switch custody. Is this true?
My answer effectively is no. The problem is if you wait to the end of the school year, the process of a modification, I know we talked about this last year about the same time, because March, end of March is probably the longest or the latest you want to wait before you bring a modification, because it takes time. And unless your ex just says, yeah, you can have custody, I don't care, it may take us 5, 6, 7, 8 months. Well, you wait till the end of school year. They're going to be starting school again, which can have an impact on the ultimate decision. They're in the middle of a new school year going through all these changes and arguments. So the sooner you start now, March, or at least look about starting a modification, a switch of custody, the kids can adjust because they're already in their routine now. Wait till too late. Now they have a new routine, and it's much more traumatic for kids to deal with.
All right, Colin Amos, law office of Goldberg and Jones, in studio. You can reach him just by calling 1-800-DIVORCE. The next question from Portland says, I was divorced 6 months ago. In lieu of spousal support, I gave my wife an extra $50K in cash. I make around $250K a year, and she makes $40K a year. She has spent the cash and is now threatening to take me back to court to get spousal support. Can she do this?
Well, this is probably one of the reasons he got a divorce, because of the liquefying of his cash and spending it in so many different ways. But the good answer here is no. Kind of like we just talked about the finality of these documents. There are some things you can't fix. Spousal support, alimony, spousal maintenance, whatever you want to call it. Once you've concluded your case, if there is no spousal support provided, you cannot come back. You can't get spousal support. You can't modify it. Now, if there's some level of support that was in there, you can modify spousal support. But if it's never been entered, he provided the cash, she can't come back and get it.
Colin Amos with this from Lake Oswego. This question kind of makes me laugh a little bit. I'm not sure why, but it says, I've been married 12 years and am thinking about a divorce. I have 2 kids. I don't want to shoot myself in the foot. So what should I not do?
Yeah, these are great questions. These are loaded questions. There's so many things. So without a lot more context to this, there's all these things that come to mind of what you shouldn't do. But one, generally don't move out of the house. I mean, let's get you a plan before you move out. Moving out sets a precedent for all sorts of things. We've talked about it. Custody gets it put in motion. Spousal support, financial issues can be put in motion when you set a precedent by moving out. I tell my clients, these guys all the time, you probably haven't won an argument in years. Don't try to win one now. So, before you do anything, let's make sure you're making good decisions. You're having arguments. If you're going to have an argument, be on firm ground. Don't get into conflict that you have to pay an attorney to resolve. So, the best thing, educate yourself again. Educate. Don't have to hire an attorney. Even when you call me, we don't charge for phone calls over the phone. Our consultation is just $95. But whether it's us or somebody else, sit down, make sure you make good decisions, because I'm here to grab the gun and try to point it in a different direction so you don't shoot yourself in the foot.
All right, that's great stuff. Colin Amos, the law offices of Goldberg and Jones, Divorce for Men. You just mentioned the phone call. So if I call 1-800-DIVORCE, you answer. How does that work?
Yeah, people call, and I'm the actual attorney.
You are the guy.
I'm the guy. I'm not sending it off to somebody else. So I answer questions. People have all sorts of crazy questions and very good questions. And I'm not trying to hide the ball on people. Sometimes there's just more information, but I answer the question, and then if they really need to, they can come in for a consultation. Again, as mentioned, we don't charge hourly for that. It's a flat amount. Again, I'm not hiding the ball in that consultation, providing a plan of action that they can take, whether they, as I state, I'm like a quarterback, and I'm giving them the playbook. Now, they don't need to hire the quarterback, employ me, but at least they walk out of my office with a playbook and how to employ these plays and work it through so they can get down the field even if they do it themselves.
What kind of a quarterback are you?
Tom Brady.
Okay, that works for me. 503-417.
Or Russell Wilson. Let's go with Russell Wilson.
That works too.
Yeah.
Well, Brady's okay too, though.
Yeah, he's okay.
All right, good stuff, Colin. Well, we'll catch up soon. It's always great to see you in studio.
Good to see you.